What's up? Welcome back to a Tomboy Reacts. I'm a Tomboy and this is my reaction channel. Of course, on tap we have today the Liver King exposed. Is Brian Johnson his ancestral tenets for real? Now, I've seen this man on Instagram. I follow this man on Instagram. Okay? Because some of what he says is true. I can't speak for some other stuff, but some of what he says is true. Like, yes, you need to be getting sun. Yes, you need to be going out in earth, nature, into the world. You need to be grounded. Let's say grounded. And you need to be connected to the planet you live on. Like, yes, you need to eat better. Yes, all of that stuff is true. But some of the stuff, like, as far as, like, his wife and children go, I don't know because she doesn't seem like she enjoys I seen one video. She did not seem like she enjoyed eating what he was eating. Now he said he did it because I think he said his children were sick or like was having reactions or something like that to certain things. And so he started this and did this and he's learned about the ancestral tribes and different stuff. So let's get into the video because like I said, this is an interesting one to watch. And it's by Before They Were Famous. So let's check it out.
If you're watching this video, odds are you've already come across the macho and massively bearded figure known as the Liver King on your TikTok and Snapchat feeds. Now, whether you're looking to get in touch with your primal self or simply you're in awe, perhaps
oh my god, this man sound like him now. Your primal
you're
self.
in disgust. I mean, this is the sight of a giant man guzzling down raw meat and testicles like he's snacking on something like Lay's
I'm not eating testicles, my guy.
Potato chips.
Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Probably good. Now, if you're anything like me, well, you still want to know more about this dude. I mean,
oh man, Logan Paul done spit it out. Is that Prime in the background?
Where did he come from? What do his ancient tenets stand for? And most importantly of all, I mean, if he's this wild, then how crazy is his family? Look, the liver thing is the closest thing we have to a caveman.
You know, when you do that ice, it doesn't really make the water colder. I read about that somewhere. Now, I don't know if that's true because I ain't never put them big ice blocks in my water, but I feel like a cold shower is good
living
enough.
in the 21st century, which makes it all the more confounding that he has a massive digital footprint with over 1.5 million followers on Instagram and
to be honest, most people has to have that nowadays in order to get a
over 3 million followers on TikTok at the time of this recording.
I'm here with one of my boys, my oldest boy, that's Striker, and what we're hoping to do is we're hoping to take an access today
on this
so
video?
that we can fill the freezer and so that we can also help manage the land.
Now, the Liver King, he discovered the secrets behind
this man walking around in the subway with chains and
getting in touch with our most dominant form, and now he wants to instruct all of us on how to achieve the same. So today you're going to learn more about
one of announcing monkeypox going around. Is he going to keep walking around in
him than ever before as we uncover the ins and outs of his life in this exclusive Snapchat episode we're calling The Liver King Exposed. Now, to begin, we're going to kick things off with a dirty little secret. The Liver King wasn't always this muscle-bound Adonis that we know
well, I mean, obviously
to be today. In fact, back in the day, well, he was nothing more than a scrawny-ass kid. Let's start off with the Liver King's real name, and trust me when I say this, it's probably not what you're thinking. Heck, even the Liver King himself, well, he doesn't go by his government handle anymore, and when people stop him on the street by calling him Brian Johnson, well, his response is generally, who the F is Brian Johnson? Now, I wouldn't put that on the same level as dead naming someone, but to this dude, well, it might well be. I mean, Brian Johnson? Talk about generic. Then again, during the earliest stages of his life, well, it actually kind of suited him. Now, today, Brian is 45 years old, but he grew up in the city of San Antonio.
Man, walk bare feet everywhere. Now, I understand bare feet because, I mean, you should have a good amount of walking on your natural bare feet on ground. Like, that you should. It's just healthier for you, but in certain areas, it's not, because in certain areas, you could get parasites, bacteria, everything. It's so much stuff that lives in the ground that you do not need in your body. But then again, on the other hand, you should be walking barefoot to stabilize your core, to get help. You know what I'm saying? It's health benefits to that.
Texas, where he was a far cry away from the incredible Hulk he is today. In fact, he was more or less the exact opposite. Now, Brian, he grew up weak and sad, and that's because when he was just a child, well, his father passed away long before Brian ever got a chance to know him. Then at elementary school, he'd get pushed around and bullied. Typical run to the litter stuff. Now, there was one time in the 6th grade when some kid named Felix, well, he hawked a loogie and slapped Brian right across the face with an open hand. And Brian, well, he was actually too weak to do anything about it. Now, another time, Brian, he showed up to school feeling usually confident in himself. The reason? Well, he had just secured a brand new pair of running shoes. But then some kids stole them out of his locker during gym class, and he was forced to walk home barefoot. The kid was absolutely humiliated. Thankfully, Brian, well, his life was about to change for the better. He just didn't know it yet. Brian's life charted a different course during middle school when his mom, she started seeing someone new. A dude who poured a ton of his energy into his weightlifting regime and would teach Brian to do the same. Now, this guy, he had a weightlifting bench that he set up in the house, and he taught Brian how to focus his energy into pumping himself up. But as much enjoyment as he got from regular exercise, what really convinced Brian that he was on the right path was the reactions he began to get at school. Now, having become accustomed to being teased every single day, well, suddenly all of that changed. Now, the other guys, they took notice of his increasing bulk and began treating him with a ton more respect. As for the girls, well, you can imagine how they reacted to seeing Brian spout from zero to hero in a matter of months. Best of all was the comment he received that would legitimately change his life forever. One day during class, his schoolmate called him by a name. No, it wasn't Brian, and it wasn't also Liver King. At this time, it was simply Marky Mark. Now, being compared to Mark Wahlberg revolutionized the way Brian saw himself. I mean, after all, Marky Mark, he was the hottest thing going in the 90s. Not only was he a member of the Funky Bunch, he was also a legit underwear model. And you don't earn that kind of gig by looking all right in a pair of tighty whities. You earn it by looking the best. Even though he does have 3 nipples, still, the women don't care. But before Brian's transformation would be complete, well, he'd have to find his place in the wilderness of the adult world. Now, it wouldn't come easy, but with his renewed confidence, well, Brian, he wasn't afraid of anything anymore. After graduating from high school, well, Brian, he headed off to study chemistry at Texas Tech University. Now, back then, he might not have been as big as he is today, but I still get a kick out of imagining a younger Brian hunched over in a Bunsen burner, while no doubt bulging out of a white lab coat. Now, after earning his degree by writing a thesis on the chemistry and biochemistry of supplemental nutrition, well, Brian applied and was accepted to med school. But when he showed up for his first week of orientation, well, something felt off about the experience, and he wound up dropping out. Now, soon enough, Brian, he found himself putting his chemistry degree to good use by working for a pharmaceutical company where he made enough money to indulge in his growing appetite for outdoor hobbies, one of which was snowboarding, and that's how he met his future liver queen back in 2004.
Primals, Liver King here, and I'm treating Liver Queen to the trip of a lifetime.
Now, before meeting his wife Barbara, well, the Liver King was living a totally different lifestyle. To be blunt, well, he considered himself to be a lesser man, the kind willing to throw his gum away on the sidewalk and who wouldn't flush a toilet after using a public bathroom, which is just, well, kind of gross. But Barbara, she changed all that. As Brian once explained to GQ, I was good at being a man before I met her, but she made me a good man. And from that point forward, well, Brian's entire life, it would change in an incredible way, and so much of it has to do with the tribe he and Barbara would create together. So next up, well, let's take a look at the Liver King's family. When they first met, well, Barbara, she was already a dentist, and together these two, they opened a successful practice before transitioning into Brian's passion for living the ancestral lifestyle by selling nutritional supplements. What was the reason for this change of profession? Well, as it turns out, it was all over the health of their kids. Now, Brian and Barbara, they have 2 sons, Rad and Striker. Now, when his kids were still young, they got sick often. In fact, it seemed like the more they interacted with the modern world, well, the more severe their allergies would become. Now, if they hung around outdoors, they'd get hives. If they spent time with the dogs, they'd become wheezy. Now, the family's wake-up call finally came when one of the kids stopped breathing, and Brian, well, he got him to the hospital just in time. Now, at this point, Brian began looking for ways to improve his kids' well-being that were off the beaten path. Now, he began reading literature like Nourishing Traditions by Sally Fallon and Nutrition and Physical Degeneration by Weston Price. Now, his family, they cut out all processed foods, liquid calories, and seed oils. What's more, they started consuming whole foods, and no, I don't mean like from the widely overpriced grocery store. I'm talking the nose to tail of whole freaking animals. Now, today, the Liver Tribe is living in an 8,300 square foot Spanish Revival mansion that's akin to a military headquarters, with 4 Dobermans patrolling the grounds and a hot tub that's been converted into a 36-degree ice plunge. And did I mention there are no mattresses anywhere? Yeah, that's because the entire family, they sleep on wooden slats.
No, see,
following
buddy,
the ancestral tenants is a family affair, but what are the
I can't sleep in no doggone. I need a mattress, my guy.
Tenants. I'm glad you asked, because that's where we're headed next. Now, at the core of what the Liver King preaches are the 9 ancestral tenets, and I'm gonna break down each of them right now so you have a better understanding of what the hell he's talking about. Now, sleep involves regulating your sleeping and walking cycles. Now, generally, you're gonna want to do things like use grounding sheets while ensuring there are no electrical fields around your bed or anywhere near you while you're sleeping. And yes, that includes Wi-Fi singles, so you got to turn those off. Now, eating is in relation to your diet, which if it isn't clear by now, it's all about keto, baby, a high-fat, moderate protein, and low-carbohydrate way of consuming food, which means the Liver King and his tribe will...
Now, what I done seen, ain't no low-carbohydrate up in there. That man be talking about carbs and carbs.
Well, they eat the entire animal. Liver, lung, kidney, pancreas, we're talking everything. Meanwhile, move, well, it's simply what it sounds like, putting one foot in front of the other and getting around 10,000 steps each and every day. As for shield, well, it's about avoiding potential dangers, while our ancestors might have had to worry about lions. Well, according to the Liver King in today's modern age, we've all had to concern ourselves with trans fat, sugars, vaccines, mercury fillings, plastics, perfumes, and a whole lot more.
It's just like when you tell somebody the conclusion of what is going on or what's going to happen versus letting them come to that on their own. I think it was a behavioral analyst said that, and it makes perfect sense if you say your friend is an alcoholic or you're an alcoholic. Of course, somebody gonna get mad at you, but if you say, they've how many beers they had today, such and such. They had the same amount yesterday, right? You'll be like, yeah. I don't know. You think maybe they have a problem? Maybe they should stop. They're hurting themselves. What do you think? And the person more inclined to think about it instead of just no or stop you dead in your tracks. That's what's going on with him, I believe.
Basically, it's a modern convenience, and it's probably hurting you. Yeah, so when you think you're like, oh, I smell great, you're actually doing yourself a lot of harm, apparently. Then there's Connect, which might be the simplest. Now, all you do is place your bare feet directly on the earth for 10-minute stretch each day to reap the benefits of close contact with Mother Nature. Damn, there's so many of these things that I'm barely over halfway through. So if you want to learn about the other tenets, well, you got to keep watching these videos. Now, cold is another tenet that's exactly what it sounds like. Embracing cold temperatures. Now take a shower that alternates between hot.
The Wim Hof method. I mean, if you don't know, you should know. Look it up. That's how I started doing like different cold things, because I hated it at the beginning, but I'm doing a little better because of it. Let's just say that.
Cold every 30 seconds. Now, you're going to hate it at first, but over a 30-day period, well, it gets much easier because the blood vessels in your muscles, they grow stronger and more efficient at doing what they're designed to do. Now, on the opposite side of the spectrum is sun, and all this tenet requires is getting out during the day so you can
Vitamin D. And we're back. Sorry about that. Had to charge up the old battery, but we back. Liver King, we back.
Decay, it increases immunity, and of course, it improves your overall health considerably. Now, next to last is fight. And when's the last time you did something that really scared you? Now, it's healthy to test your limits, so get out there and challenge yourself. Go bungee jumping or check out a roller coaster. Better yet, take up rock climbing or another extreme sport. Or if you're feeling particularly Tyler Durden-ish, well, pick a fist fight over something worth fighting for. Spray some guy with water and see if he hits you back. Seriously, don't hurt yourself, just an idea. Now, last but not least is bonds. Now, if you truly want strength, health, and happiness, well, you need to be a part of something that's bigger than yourself. In other words, find your tribe. Now, whether it's family or a group of like-minded friends, developing a sense of community, it awakens primal purpose. Now, with all these tenets, will they work for you? I don't know. And I feel like this is the point where I should probably tell you that neither myself nor the Liver King are doctors. But I'm hoping you already knew that before you watched all these videos. Now, that being said, you can imagine how after discovering these incredible results, well, the Liver King might want to share his regimen with everyone else. And that's what brings us to his incredible popularity via social media. The Liver King began posting about his lifestyle in 2021. Now, before long, his popularity exploded over on TikTok and Instagram, where he shared videos of his daily meals, something I'm about to give you a taste of just right now. The Liver King's first meal of the day, it consists of 6 farm fresh eggs, a 45-gram protein shake with ice cold mineral.
Yeah, I heard he had his own farm or ranch or whatever you so desire to call it.
Water, 100 grams of homemade Greek yogurt with 300 grams of maple syrup, 2 ounces of raw liver, 1 ounce of raw bone marrow, and half a pint of farm fresh raw milk that's often milked that morning. Now his next meal of the day.
See, look, this man eating raw meat.
It's exactly identical to his first. I guess that helps keep things.
Now see, I don't know. Everybody can't eat no raw meat. I would not suggest you try that if you know it's not for you. It's for him and his kids. I don't know now. So that's the type of stuff I'm iffy about. My immune system already shot. So I'm not eating raw meat.
Kind of simple. As for his third meal, well, it includes 16 ounces of full-fat red meat, like grass-finished ribeye, wagyu or short ribs, as well as ground organs, including liver, spleen, pancreas, heart, and kidney. And then, he chases that down with 3 ounces of raw bull testicle. Yeah. You heard that correctly. Also 1 avocado and occasionally 200 grams of sweet potato. But only if he's really earned it. Yeah, he's got to make room for that testicle over everything else. Now beyond his diet, the Liver King, he also shares his intense workout regimes with his army of primals. Now most of these, they consist of the Barbarian, a workout in which you walk for 1 mile while being dragged down by 70 pounds worth of kettlebells in each hand and a
really, it's just a farmer's carrier with like a weighted vest and like you I can't remember, sled pull maybe. So it's not too far-fetched. He just named it something to that correlates to his brand.
70-pound back while pulling an additional 70 pounds worth of weights in a sled. And on top of all that, if that wasn't enough, there's also 20-pound ankle weights as well. My God. Suddenly it's all beginning to make sense, isn't it? That's how you go from a 100-pound weakling getting slapped in the schoolyard and other people spitting on you to becoming the most dominant force on social media. All it takes is a little dedication. And a lot of raw liver and testicles. All right, guys, thanks for watching this special exclusive episode here for you on Snapchat. Don't forget to swipe up at the end of the video to subscribe to our channel here. It's brand new and we're growing rather quickly. My name, of course, is Michael McCrudden. Thanks for tuning in to Before They Were Famous. I'll see you guys in another video.
Bye, Michael. This man got a video talking about why Liver King eats testicles for fame. Crazy. But that's Liver King for you. Like I said, I'm not eating raw meat. That's just not my thing. Nah, I could eat a lot healthier, of course, but I usually only eat 1 meal a day anyway, to be honest with you. It might be a big meal, but it's usually 1 meal a day. I'm not eating testicles. Now, I might try the liver one day. I don't know. But see, I'm not primal like him right now, but like I said, most of what he's saying makes sense. It's just his delivery and some unorthodox strategies or unorthodox, teachings, as you will, that rub the people the wrong way. And that's why he gets so much hate, I believe. But I'm not Liver King. He's Liver King. If you want to follow Liver King, he's Liver King, okay? That's his social media, Liver King, the Liver King. My social media is in the description below. And the full video is in the description below. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.